Good evening. I'd like to call to order the February 22nd, 2024 Committee of the Whole meeting at 6:22 PM. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen.
Here.
Mayor Murphy.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Doherty.
Here.
Mr. Burchett.
Here.
Mrs. Witt.
Here.
Ms. Marcus.
I'd like to excuse Ms. Marcus from this meeting tonight.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen.
Yes.
Mrs. Witt.
Yes.
Mr. Burchett.
Yes.
Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
Mayor Murphy.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes. Council has received a copy of the February 8th, 2024 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Are there any changes or corrections? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as submitted. Under topics of discussion, Acting Finance Director, anything to report?
I have nothing at this time.
City Manager, anything?
I have nothing, Mr. Miller. Thank you.
Mayor?
I have nothing at this time, thank you.
Law Director?
I just have one item, Mr. Miller. That's a request for an executive session at the end of this meeting with no business to follow for matters pertaining to sale of city-owned property and public employee compensation. And I would just need a motion and a vote for that.
I'll make a motion that we have an executive session at the end of this meeting with no business to follow.
You've heard the motion. Are there any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Witt.
Yes.
Mr. Burchett.
Yes.
Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
Mrs. Allen.
Yes.
Mayor Murphy.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes. Clerk of Council, anything additional to report?
I have nothing. Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Under business, our first item is a review of the 2023 financial audit. Laura?
Thank you. I'm happy to report, on August 22nd, the Auditor of the State released our 2023 financial audit. It was a clean audit. There were no findings. So in the packet is the report from the auditor. One of the things that I wanted to point out, which is unusual, the auditors had no management notes or comments on our audit, which in my 23 years, I'm not sure that that has ever happened. So I want to make sure that I share my appreciation to all city staff plus the finance department. We work really hard to make sure that that happens. So that's what I have for today.
Very good job to you and your staff and all the departments for a clean audit this past year. And we will not need any legislation for this, for the audit. So thank you very much. Second item is property tax amounts and rates. Laura, I guess you'll be discussing this also.
That's me again, yes. Every year, the Montgomery County asks us to produce legislation for accepting the rates and amounts for the levies that have been on the city for many years. And this is just a repeat of the legislation that we would need.
You've heard the request. We will need a motion on this item.
I'll make a motion that the legislation be prepared for the next council meeting.
Heard the motion. Any questions or comments? If not, roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen.
Yes.
Mrs. Witt.
Yes.
Mr. Burchett.
Yes.
Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
Mayor Murphy.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes. That concludes tonight's business. Persons appearing before council, is there anyone here that would like to address council? Please come to the podium at this time. Seeing none, we'll go to staff and council meeting report, or council reports. Fire department,
Nothing to report, sir.
police department,
No report, sir. Thank you.
street department.
No report, sir. Thanks.
And let's see, we'll go to the, I knew I was going to give, yep. Parks and Rec, Brand, I'm sorry, I'm looking down too far on this.
I didn't know there were other people in here.
I thought Bobby was hitting up behind Chris there, I was giving him a chance to stand up, but
You can just take a shot at Bobby.
I do have one thing. On September 21st is the Wright Brothers Pinnacles Trail grand opening ceremony. So if anybody would like to be there in attendance, we wish them to come out. We will shuttle people from the rec center parking lot up the hill to a couple tents and some chairs that we'll have up there. And then me, Dave, and the mayor will do a little presentation, and we'll get that trail open. So that's at 11 o'clock on September 21st. Thank you.
City engineer,
Nothing to report, thanks.
city manager,
I have no items, Mr. Miller, thank you.
clerk of council,
I have nothing, thank you.
law director,
Nothing, Mr. Miller, thank you.
acting finance director,
I have nothing additional.
Mrs. Allen,
Nothing to report, thank you.
Ms. Wood.
I would just like to thank the finance department. I know since I've been on council, that is the first time that happened, and as I was reading through it today, I thought, that's very unusual. So thank you all, the whole finance department, for the hard work. You're doing a great job. Thank you.
Mayor?
Same thing I was going to say. Thank everybody in the finance department for all their hard work that they've done.
Mr. Daugherty?
Same thing. Congratulations, Laura, and the finance department, and congratulations, Dave. I know you've put a lot of hard work into putting that trail together, and excited for the grand opening. I've been out there to walk it so far, but I'll try to make sure I'm there for the grand opening as well. Good
Thank
work.
you. Thank you. Mr. Burchett?
No report.
And again, hats off to the finance department on a good job. And it's been great the last 30 days, going around the city to see the road projects, the concrete program, the curb, all those projects taking place, the bike path look really good. The work up at Fire Station 30, so it's good to see all these projects either getting done or about just wrapping up here in the next 30 days or so. At this time, we have motion to go into an executive session. There'll be no further business. We will adjourn to the executive session at 6:29, and then we'll reconvene back out here afterwards with no business to follow.
You were feeling.